McRetroJunkie.net.
Here's a little video about a board that I'll be using in this brand new PC case. This is a Gigabyte GA6VXE7 Plus, which I found on the side of the road quite a while back now. It's got two ISA slots, 5 PCI, 1 AGP. 800 MHz Pentium 3, copper mine based. I think it's copper mine. Yeah. And it will be my main PC for the Mega CD development unit. SNASM2 card will go in here. Spin this around. It's got all the beautiful features of a modern board. USB, PS2, parallel, serial. No onboard sound. I'll need to get a sound card. I think it's packed with about 1.5 GB of RAM, so it's spec-wise pretty much on par with the Athlon system I have. Unfortunately, that doesn't have any ISA slots, so not much I can do about that, unfortunately. So I'm going to get this together and it'll be a spare machine. I'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 PCs, including the TeraDrive, Mega PC. Sorry, Mega Drive. Where did I get that from? Oh well, thanks for watching. More for my reference than anyone. Subscribe! SNASM2 card. Will it fit? No problems. Very short. Will this card fit? Hell no. It's like twice the size, and I did not factor that in. Yeah, if I removed the power supply, I could fit it in. I'm going to do a size comparison right now against the Gravis UltraSound. Curious to see who wins. Well, there you have it. The Gus has been beaten. There is a larger card in existence. Even in height. Look at the height on the Gus there, just above the PCI bracket. This one, it's above the PCI bracket, has an oscillator and 2 LEDs. Can't be beaten. Beautiful cards really, aren't they? Looks like I have to find an old PC. Got just the idea. Enter random beige PC I picked up off eBay. It's got a PS2 and 5 pinned in for keyboard. I don't think it's gonna fit. Barely. I really need those sort of guides that would hold it up. Actually, that'll come off by the looks. It's just screwed in on there. I think this is a Pentium 100. Let's see if it's doable. This PC is going to house the Sega 837-8209 card, as well as SNASM2 card. So at the moment I've put in a not compact flash, too much compact flash on that LC475, Discon module, which is essentially flash that's relatively compact, and that'll be the hard drive. We've also got, wow, we've pimped this one out because I'm sick of having everything in boxes just lying around. I've gone ahead and stuck in as many drives as I can. So I'm keeping all the hard drives out, the rotational hard drives, because I don't want them to die just yet. I'd like to see them around in another 20 years. 24 speed, 4 speed, and two 1.44 meg floppies. And we're using a ancient AT power supply. This board's quite a good design actually. It's from about 97, 98. Let's see if I can find a date stamp, 9817. So we've got ATX, AT. I can use that RAM if I want, 72 pin, or I can go with the 168. Maximum of 384 at the time this board was released. Supports up to a 300 megahertz CPU at the moment. There's a little Pentium 100 in there, P54C, and we've got 3 ISA slots, which is very important. Now, other fantastic things about this board is that it has the 5-pin DIN and PS2 socket. I don't know if that's the keyboard and that's the mouse, or if they're both just keyboards. If that is the case, I'm going to need to find a serial mouse, which I don't think I have. Yeah, so I'll have to do that. Primarily though, this will be used as a DOS machine for the Mega CD cards. I might also possibly put in the Gravis UltraSound. The problem is with these long cards is that they tend to bend. I found an idea. I actually got some feet with the other case that I was going to put these cards into, and one of the feet has just gone rolling away. Just rubber feet, so if I put them down the end here, the card won't short out on the metal and not bend too much, because you don't want the cards being bent. This Gravis UltraSound was quite bent, but it's sprung back to life quite nice. Very nice card. So in addition to that, this machine essentially becomes a go-between machine. It's got PCI as well, which means it can support USB. And I've got a USB card somewhere there. So in addition to having DOS, I'll also stick probably Windows 95, one of the later releases that had USB support, or an early version of 98. And that's where we're at. We'll come back to this one when it's all done. Interestingly, this is a very old design. I can't remember the last time I would have worked on one of these. It's got a tray. The motherboard is on a tray that sits in. It's just so old. I was trying to get the motherboard out from the other side and I was like, this isn't working. It needs to slide up because of the these plastic standoffs. Sure enough, tray. Okay, so now most of it's in there. We've got RAM, the disc-on module, the video card, power. I haven't connected any of the other things yet. Power on test, we're just checking that. What on earth was that noise? We're just checking that the lights on the front work. Reset works, turbo off, turbo on, power. We're all good. Recognize the disc-on module, which is good. Probably need to put something on it. Excellent. Stage 2, put more things in. Stage 3. Yeah. Well, we're slowly progressing. We've managed to get a boot disk in the A drive, and it's recognized both CD drives okay. Firmware version ver. That's just lazy. That's the 24 speed. So yeah, we're getting there. A lot of IDE cables now, making everything messy. And that noise is the one of the CD drives spinning. And I'll just have a look in F-Disk. Okay, so we've got the primary one there, it's 2 gig. Limitations. Should be set active, excellent. Let's create a second partition. We've got 2 drives. Let's go format them. Of course, it'll want me to restart. So it's all coming together, and I'm very thankful that I've got this manual, because some of these things like power LED connector, pins 2 to 6, and if I've got key lock and round they go on the next bit. Whew. I only had 3 pins, 3-pin header connector. I'll get it formatted and get a system on there. Is that counted as an operating system? Command.com? I'm sure MS-DOS and IO are nearby, but they're a bit hidden at the moment. So we've got C and D. And I forgot how quick these Discon modules format when the computer's fast enough. Which this Pentium is. So now I'm going to go ahead and work out what sort of cards I want in this, and pack them in as well as I can. It fits, and it can't short out. Put a little, see if we can see it, black bumper under there. Will stop it shorting out on the metal, which it would have done. So that's excellent. Now I'll just pop the SNASM card in and some sound card. Apparently some of the creative cards have issues with the SNASM hardware, so I must be careful. Alright, so here we are with the Mega CD dev unit. We've got CD emulation board and SNASM2 board there. Now I've been able to have some success in replicating the problems Headcrab was having on assembler games. So that's just booting up. Hear that? That's SCSI telling us we have a card configuration test failed. And I'm pretty sure that's the problem he was having. And I didn't have this problem when I was using a 486. But then again, 486 didn't have a giant Gravis UltraSound sitting in it. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to go ahead and remove all the cards that don't need to be in there and retry. Stand by. Okay, so we're booting up again with the Gravis UltraSound removed. The result? Test failed. There you go. So I'm going to try it in a 486, see if the result is different. Okay, so now we have a different PC. It's the overdrive that Jackhead loves so much. It is quite a nice system. I like the way there's pretty much nothing on the main board and you need to add everything in. So we've got a Discon module running off IDE card, and it actually detected and worked, which is good news. So, let's give this a restart. I didn't press delete. Control Alt delete maybe. Oh, computers are so slow 20 years ago. There you go. Drivers are installed, so now I can run SN test, but because I've got the Mega Drive powered up or connected, it won't do anything. So it should come up and detect while there's nothing connected to the actual card. I did notice that the first time I tried to run it, it didn't work because it wasn't seated correctly, so it's the only other thing you look out for. But there you go, it's PC dependent, so quite clearly somewhere between 486s and Pentium 3s, they broke whatever lets this card work, but fixed it in the Pentium 3 era on that VIA chipset I have over there and the 800 MHz Pentium 3. So there you go. I'm going to hook the Mega CD up, and I'm just going to give it a quick test with oh, what should I do with yeah, we'll do the SCSI link test with the Mega Drive attached, Mega CD. We'll be back in a sec. And we're back. One interesting thing, when it does detect the card on here, the lights don't blink. Which is sort of disappointing. SCSI link is running. Pass test. Nothing. Nothing at all. So now Mega Drive is active. Mega CD. Probably hear those fantastic key presses. It's my IBM Model M. Fantastic keyboard. So we want to go SN test. So you press 7, it tests ID 7. Press another one, it should give an error. Okay, 6 and 7 work. 8 quits. Any other keyboard, okay. So 0 works. 1 works. 2 works. 3 works. 4, 5 does not work. 6 does not work. 7 does not. Why isn't 7 working anymore? Target not available. I think I've set it. It doesn't like being around multiple times. Okay, stop it. So there you go. That is it. Headcrab needs to find a new PC, which he was doing, but got sidetracked by life. It happens. There's the dip switch settings for switch bank 2. On, off, on, off, off, on, off. And on, off, off, on. That's enabled. CD emulation is pressed and on. And that one's enabled. Actually, they're interesting enable switches because you'd think it'd be enable, disable. Instead it's enable above it and it's a sideways switch. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I've got to find another PC to put this in. To find a PC that can fit this card. That's probably my biggest problem. Oh boy. RetroJunkie.net for more. Don't forget to drop by the Assembler Games forums as well.